Things are just getting nuts. Leading off a baseball tonight, Thursday night. Steve Berthune, the cavalcade, the whole thing. Braves and Phillies. Fill thine horn with oil. First on the way to a 6-4 win over the Braves. Meanwhile, the free fall in Queens continues. Mets and Cardinals. Look who's pitching a gem at the Metropolitans. The former Red Sox great Joel Pinheiro. 8 shutout innings.
So you're telling me Jimmy Rollins might be right when he said the Phillies are the team to beat?
One more Philly loss and one more Philly win and Met loss, and they will be. We have a tie atop the NL East. John McLaren will be back as a Mariner manager next season.
Bill Bavasi will be back as general manager.
Welcome to the broadcast. Baseball tonight with you for the next 40 minutes. Come on in. We're down here. Steve Berthune along the way, joined by Fernando Vina, Oral Hershiser, and Buster Olney. Guys, this is when the whole season becomes worthwhile in a 1-week span. It's hard to imagine a more miraculous or remarkable final weekend of the Major League season, especially in the National League, than we're going to have this weekend. Buckle up. A lot of fun. Let's start with the Rockies, chasing both the NL West and the wild card and looking for their 11th straight win. What a great time for a 10 or 11 game winning streak. They're in L.A., and Garrett Atkins starts them off in the fourth with a 2-run homer, his 25th. Next up, it's Brad Hoff as they go back-to-back jacks. His 29th, it's 3-zip.
They've definitely set the tone early on all these games they've won here, 10 in a row.
Bottom 4, James Loney, right center. Here comes Ryan's billboard. In and out.
Alligator armed just a little bit.
Kemp scores. Loney wants 3. He's in there. One more look. You see, he actually did have it in the glove.
Didn't get his arm out.
Got a full extension you need.
Full extension, he's making that play, yep.
Bottom 5 with 2 outs. Here's Almeida. Signs up the middle. Troy Tulowitzki. Buster Olney riding this week on ESPN.com. The Tulowitzki may be National League Rookie of the Year after all. A big play there. The Rockies get out of the inning up 4-2 in the 6th. Kaz Matsui hits one up the middle. You'll see it hit the second base umpire. That's Jerry Lane. Brad Hoff comes in and scores for Colorado. One more look. Lane really couldn't do a whole lot. Did try to get out of the way, but not much he could do. Instead, it's ruled a dead ball. Lane tells Brad Hoff, you got to go back to third base, so it's still 4-2.
You know what? Jerry tried to get out of the way.
All right, so go back out there. Next up, Tulowitzki to second. Wilson Valdez. Oh, man.
Oh, sniper.
Still got the out. Rockies still leading, looking for their 11th straight win. What a time for an 11-game winning streak.
Franchise record.
Diamondbacks and Pittsburgh finishing up with the Pirates. Micah Owings getting the start. Brandon Webb pushed back because they thought they might have some rain issues here. Top 2, Owings with the lumber.
Swings the bat with some authority, huh?
A chance for the Silver Slugger.
Doubles down the left field line. He's got himself a 2-0 lead. And he, pitched pretty well, too. Rings up Carlos Maldonado, gets Tony Armas here. But the story was Owings at the dish here in the 4th. He's back up there. Remember, this is a pitcher who did have a 2-homer, 6 RBI day against the Braves back in August. He can rake.
He looks like Jeff Francoeur right there.
By the end of this day, he's hitting .339 this year.
That's a violent hack. He can really swing it.
Top 6, Owings. Guess what? Another hit. His 3rd hit of the game.
When you're going good, you're going good. Firewood, not.
Some of those young Pirate hitters have struggled this year watching this.
Micah Owings finished 4 for 4 with 3 doubles.
Little bat flip coming out of the box.
He's hitting .339.
All around the ballpark, too. That's a beautiful thing.
Second 4-hit game this season. First pitcher to do that since Whitey Ford in 1953. Pictured there. In the 7th, back to the pitching. Diamondbacks win 8-0. Arizona snaps its 3-game losing streak.
We do these interviews on the bench from reporters that come by with these abstract ideas for books. My best day in baseball. I think this will be his chapter.
Bob Melvin asked about the possibility of playing Owings in the field to get him some more at-bats. Just joked, don't tempt me. His second 4-hit game of the season. No pitcher has had 2 4-hit games in a season since Whitey Ford in 1953. And only one other time in the last 50 years that a pitcher had 4 hits with 3 of them going for extra bases. Guess what? That was Owings in August this year, the game we mentioned. Wow. Pretty good. All right, now to the house cleaning. Brewers trying to keep close to the Cubs in the NL Central, but their manager keeps getting himself ejected. In Wednesday's game against the Cardinals, St. Louis hit Prince Fielder in the 2nd inning, an apparent retaliation for Jeff Suppan throwing inside to Pujols the night before. While trailing 3-2 of the 8th, Milwaukee, Seth McClung throws behind Pujols after warnings had been issued to both benches. McClung suspended 3 games. Ned Yost, the manager, for 1. Remarkable as he plunks Pujols there, considering that down 1 in the 8th inning in a very tight NL Central division race, that Ned Yost would worry, Buster, about retaliation rather than the game or the division race. He seems to have used remarkably bad judgment here.
Yeah, and I talked with a number of players and executives around baseball today, and they were absolutely astonished that this is how the Brewers handled this. Think about this. Right now, Albert Pujols has 400 career at-bats against the Milwaukee Brewers, a divisional opponent. Over the next 12, 13 years, he might get another 800 at-bats. There would be another opportunity to deal with this, deal with some kind of retaliation, other than in this situation when the Brewers are trying to win the division. Talked with pitchers who said that they've waited and lied and wait for a year, for 2 years before dealing with this. Here's the other part of the equation. Ned Yost, manager, gets ejected in this game. This week, he'll be suspended. This week, between ejections and suspensions, he'll have missed 14 of 45 innings for the Brewers.
I'll tell you what, you cannot choose retaliation over contention. You can't do it. As a pitcher, you're on the mound. You do not think about this. You go to your regulars and say, you know what, I'm going to have to do this later. We've got to get this W. It's all about different forms of fuel. When you look at fuel for a fire, you don't need it right now. You need to win the game, and you need to stay in the game. You don't need to retaliate.
Not at all. I mean, the way you beat the Brewers in this, or the Cardinals in this situation, is beat him on the field. I mean, there's no reason to go after him at this time. You file that away in the memory bank, and you're going to play him. You play him 18 times a year. I mean, it's not like you're not going to face him again. You take care of that later. As players, when I played, as amongst us, we talked about it as position players, and we knew what happened and what took place. You file it away, you take care of it later, and you don't do that now. You never, like Oral said, you never retaliate over winning ball games, especially in the pennant race right now. This is big time. You never do that. Bad move.
After the game, Albert Pujols the other night said the error the manager made cost them the game. I can't believe he hit me right there. He cost them 4 runs. Ned Yost is downplaying this and saying it was on a list of things that cost him the game, it would have been number 16.
Go ahead, Frank.
And Ned Yost, he came out and said that he wanted to let his kids, his players, know that he's behind them at this time of year. I mean, you don't do that at this time of year. You don't do it at this time. You do it later, down the road, take care of it and handle it. That's just a bad
So if he said that, then we can pretty much establish that this wasn't McClung just doing this on his own, right?
They both said the pitch got away. That's what they're saying. That's their story.
He's been ejected 3 times since Sunday. Keep in mind, this is with his team, and a very young team also. Let's throw that in, trying to keep them together, prevent him from getting rattled. This is the manager who keeps getting himself thrown out of the game. The Brewers 1-2 in those games that he's been ejected from. In the 2 losses, he's been shown the exit during an inning in which the Brewers gave up 4 runs. So this matters. The Brewers lost those games by 3 and 4 runs, respectively. All right, Padres and Brew Crew. So it's Dale Swaim, acting manager for Ned Yost. Giovanni Gallardo, 4-0, 1.03 on the mound for the Brew Crew against the Padres in a game that both teams desperately needed. Jack Castle up in the 3rd.
You're living right. Living right.
That's his first big league hit.
Take the out.
They're loaded. Scott Hairston, 2 batters later. Down the line. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Hairston goes to 3rd. Jenkins can't handle it in the corner. It's a 3-run knock for the Padres. They're up 3 hit.
Scott Harrison added as an extra guy. Boy, he's been paying off lately.
Fielder, bases loaded, grounds out the short. Brewers leave him loaded, down 5-2 in the 5th. It was a 3-1 pitch.
The guy who got him out there, Joe Thatcher, who the Padres had gotten in a trade for Scott Linebrink from the Brewers.
Oscar Robles to 3rd. Ryan Braun, it's into the outfield. 3rd error of the game for Braun, and that was the concern with him in spring training. That's why he wasn't there in April. Had some throwing issues.
So that's a tough angle. He tried to rush it, threw it away.
Hairston up with the bases loaded, eats him up at 3rd. Brady Clark scores, everybody's safe. Later, Khalil Green. It's all Padres here. They win it 9-5. No Ned, no win.
That's a shame.
You go back to that Tuesday game, Giles had that 2-out home run in the 9th, gave the Padres a lot of air in their sails.
Brandon Webb pushed back Thursday to Friday. Will start for Arizona to open its season-ending series with Colorado at Coors, but Webb 0-3 in 5 career starts against the Rockies. Padres finished with 3 at Milwaukee beginning Friday. They continue that series. Ben Sheets not start for Milwaukee. Chris Capuano goes instead. Sheets still bothered by that left hamstring. He will be available, but only to pitch 1 inning of relief, they say. Cubs and Marlins as we take a peek over at Chicago's run through the NL Central here. Lewis sparked the team, but not against the Fish. They're 0-5 against the Marlins this year. Coming in, bottom 5, Miguel Cabrera down the right field line.
Good pitch, good piece of hitting.
Although Lee and Lupinella, you know what, Eric Cooper, that might have been foul. One more look. Noonan.
Get the Cyclops out.
Hit it 5-1 Florida.
Pennant.
First and second for Craig Monroe in the 6th. Cabrera. Hello. Into right field. DeRosa scores.
Toughest thing,
5-2.
toughest thing to do in the shadows is catch that ball sinking on you. It's right by you.
By the way, that's the 8th error Miguel Cabrera's made with Scott Olsen the mound. Go ahead. I can't get it out.
Most for any pitcher is a fielder behind him.
Alfonso
Thank
Soriano
you.
doubles in Monroe. Soriano 2 for 4. Marlins have him loaded in the 6th, and Kerry Wood gets Jason Wood. Pinch hitting, they're still loaded. Gets the double play ball from Ramirez. Kerry Wood gets out of a bases loaded, no out jam, and Bill Murray is on the road with the Cubbies. He's sparking the team.
He said he's confident, by the way.
Okay. That's
Wow.
the one-run game.
That was nasty. Look how bad he looked
Cubs
there.
are swept. They've lost 10 straight versus Florida. Chicago stranded 10. They were 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position in the series. NL Central. Florida's Cody Ross had this to say about the Cubs. You can look in their dugout, and it's just like panic mode. Cubs finish with 3 at Cincy. They'll go Zambrano, Hill, Lilly. Brewers host San Diego. Again, no sheets for Milwaukee. It's Capuano, Bush, Suppan versus Peavy in that series and season finale on Sunday, of course, unless there's a playoff game. An update from the Rockies and the Dodgers. James Loney, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Juan Pierre comes in for L.A. That makes it a one-run game. Bottom 6 in L.A. Rockies trying to win their 11th in a row. They lead 4-3. Due up. A one-game makeup against the Cardinals, a one-game lead over the Phillies. Mets walking a tightrope without a net Thursday. Could Pedro give them the clutch start they so desperately needed? And the Phillies breathing down New York's neck for the NL East lead. Could we see a scenario that furthers this Met collapse and puts the Phils in first? We'll see if it was an oh happy day in Philadelphia.
As though they have room in which to stumble, and so these games continue to take on great importance. 2-1 to Kearns. In the air to left center field, hit well. Beltran going back to the warning track, back at the wall, and it's out of here. And the ball game is over. The Nationals come into Shea and pound the Mets 13-4. 3-2. Hit in the air to deep left field, and it's out of here. And the curveball hit to left field and hit well. And he drives one to deep left field.
The Mets find themselves paddling upstream again.
A little right to the other way. Base hit. Castillo scores. Wright scores. Beltran around third. Beltran scores. And it's 10-9. Popped up shallow right. And the ball game is over. And the Mets fall 90 feet shy of the most incredible comeback in their history. Popped up. And that should end it. The Washington Nationals have come to Shea and swept a 3-game series. They came from 5 runs down tonight to beat the Mets 9-6.
We are in the middle of a Met meltdown. Going into Thursday, losers of 6 straight at home, 9 of 13. Division lead down to 1, and this from Paul LaDuca, their fiery leader. It seems to me we're all waiting to lose, and it better change quick, or in 5 days, we're all going to be home for the winner. A one-game makeup against the Cardinals at Shea. And the fans, little apathy as Willie tries to get guys fired up, but the fans, they want plays and not excuses. Much is expected in New York. Top 1, Albert Pujols against Pedro. Up the middle, Luis Castillo boots it. E4, Cardinals go up 1-0.
Tough hop there's kind of let the ball play him, and it's ate him up. Ate him up.
Pujols off Pedro in the 3rd. Rick Ankiel scores. It's 2-0 St. Louis. And Mets fans are, well, they're riveted. Top 4. Uh-oh, we got a wardrobe malfunction.
It's not that bad.
A change of jersey for Pedro. Is that the deal?
Get a busted button.
Sometimes you get a
Busted
little
button in the
We
middle.
can confirm it's a button.
Here's a button.
2 on, 2 out. First time Martinez has gone into the 7th this year, and he gets Pujols to fly out. Pedro Martinez, 105 pitches, 7 hits in 7. He struck out 8, only 1 walk. You'll see after the jersey change. Look at the numbers improve, Oral. Only 2 hits in 4 he K'd for with the fresh jersey.
Analysis, please.
Somebody needs to get a life.
Thanks for that. Bottom 7, Moises Alou. So much for the 30-game hitting streak. It's done. Joel Pinheiro, the pitching story here. A season-high 8 innings of shutout balls, 6 Ks, 1 walk. The Mets have lost 10 of 14 and 7 in a row at home. It's getting ugly.
It's been Pinheiro's longest scores outings.
Well, I guess we had a new season. Starting from scratch, coming around full circle, and that's the way we are right now. I'm assuming the Phillies win, but I really don't care. I'm assuming they win. We're tied now, so now we got 3 games to get it done. That's the way baseball goes, and we kind of, made our own bed here, so we got to kind of fight through this and start 1 game at a time tomorrow, but win 3 in a row so we can make sure we get a chance to go to the dance.
Oral Hershiser, you were a Met. What did you see Thursday?
Well, there were some things that surprised me and things that didn't surprise me. And one thing that didn't surprise me for sure, it was Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez was an absolute warrior, and he was on top of his game. The 105 pitches was absolutely amazing for this guy to come out here. You think 55 weeks ago, rotator cuff surgery, and he's back out there. But you take a look, one of the things surprising about Pedro's outing is that Albert Pujols actually got something to hit, and it was a fastball. He ended up with a couple hits and an RBI. Pedro got him out in his last at-bat, but that was with a changeup or a curveball, the off-speed stuff. And it doesn't surprise me that Pedro Martinez is a finesse pitcher now, that it's not a lightning fastball, that it's 87 to 90, and it's the changeup and the curveball that gets him through. But a major surprise for me that continues to haunt the Mets is the makeup of this team. Show some passion. Get emotionally involved in the game. This thing is not a foregone conclusion that you guys are going to lose. And fans, I've been on the venom side of this in the '88 playoffs as a Dodger, hearing your voices. I've also been on the positive side in '99, and it's let's go Mets. The Amazins need you. You need to wake up. You're getting out-hit, out-pitched, and out-fan-based right now by Philadelphia.
It's getting ugly, as we said, and with this Met loss, the Phillies been chasing this team for so long. A Philly win, and they're tied for the division lead. Braves at the bank. Bottom 1. Fill thine horn with oil and go. Ryan Howard's 44th off John Smoltz. A 2-run shot for the NL MVP candidate.
Turned that cutter around. Got the head right to it, pulled his hands inside of it. Gone.
Smoltz gets him in the 3rd, though. This is the 196th strikeout for Ryan Howard this year. That's a new single-season Major League record. Later in the inning, Pat Burrell. There's the record. Here's Burrell. 2 for 26 with 14 Ks against Smoltz. Struggles against this guy big time, but Burrell gets one. His 30th, a 2-run shot. Smoltz tagged for 5 earned on 7 hits in 4. His shortest outing since May 29. 6-zip. Look back from Atlanta. Top 6, Chipper. Off Kyle Kendrick, a 2-run shot, his 30th. Teixeira would follow with a solo homer. Suddenly it's 6-3.
Beautiful piece of hitting by Chipper Jones. He fouled 5 balls off in a row to the left side, then he hit that changeup away, out of there.
Once again, the Philly bullpen doing a good job. Tom Gordon in the 7th gets Renteria with 2 on.
16th appearance of the month for Tom Gordon.
Brett Myers, 21st save in 24 chances. He'll shut the door. Look at the field. Compare the Met fan right now to the Philly fan. Wow.
Who wants it more?
Got the rally towels out. You got the intensity on the mound.
They are fired up, and it's tough to turn that off.
Took a hunt play, but the Phils have come back and tied for the NL East lead.
We couldn't help from those the scoreboard, especially when they lost. We've played hard, and like we fought and we've clawed all year long. I've said that, and all of a sudden you look up and the Mets, they started going bad, and we kept chipping away. So now we're even with them, but the job's not done yet. We got to come out and win tomorrow. Tomorrow's game gets bigger now. Today was the biggest one we've played. Tomorrow's even bigger.
Well, Mets keep helping them. Mets have lost 10 of 14. Stat of the night, the Phillies have played 159 games. They're in first for the first time this year. That's tied for the Major League record in terms of games played before getting to the top of the division for the first time in a season. Amazingly, the Twins took the same amount of games just last year. And you'll remember, Minnesota won their division, the AL Central, on the season's final day. So let's go on down the row here. Fernando, who wins the National League East?
For me, I never thought I would say the Mets wouldn't win this division. But they've just hit a wall. The hardest thing to do as a team is to turn it back on after you've been in a funk. And the Phillies are the total opposite. They're really hot right now. They're setting the tone. They're playing the game the right way. And you can look at all of them. The way they're playing the game, they're on fire. They're hungry. Look at their fans. They're getting it done, from Jimmy Rollins doing the right things to lead it off, to Shane Victorino bunting. They've just been incredible. Ryan Howard turning on balls. Chase Utley hitting the ball to the right side to score a run. They're playing the game the right way, and they're doing it right. I believe the Phillies are going to do this because they're really, really hot right now.
Mets finished with 3 at home against Florida. They'll go Perez, Maine, Glavine. Phillies host the Nationals. Hamels, Eaton, Moyer.
Emotions say the Phillies for me, but my heart still wants to go with the Mets. I think being a Met, I'd like to see these guys respond to it. I think it'd be great for the city of New York. They've been on top all year, and I'd like to see them pull out of this.
I think if the Phillies are going to win because the emotions. One thing to keep in mind today, by the way, after the game, Willie Randolph said he held a team meeting. He talked about positive things, trying to reverse the energy that you guys are talking about in that Met clubhouse.
Some of that energy is coming from the Met front office, too, with some of the things that have gone on this week for the Mets that Willie's frankly didn't need. Due up here on baseball tonight, a lot more still to talk about. A check on the race for the AL top dog. We'll see if Cleveland could hold on to home field throughout the postseason, headed for a division series matchup with the Yankees likely. But the AL East has not been clinched yet. The nation in the rain at Fenway. Beckett on the mound, Poppy going yard, trying to stage a ninth inning comeback against the Twins. Highlights on the way. Updating a huge game for the Rockies in L.A., going for their 11th win in a row. Here's Todd Helton, a 2-run shot, his 16th. Helton hitting a smidge under 400 this month.
Do you think he likes being in a pennant race?
Fun, huh? He's got the house of David Beard going in the whole thing. AL East, Yankees in Tampa. All the good guys getting a day off. A-Rod, Jeter, Posada, Kazmir on the mound, trying to pass Johan Santana for the strikeout mark. Top three gets Johnny Damon. Phil Hughes on the mound, starting for the Yanks. Bottom three, Akinori Iwamura. There's Shelley Duncan. Wasn't he just the Tin Man on Wizard of Oz Day?
Yes, he was.
Top four, Kazmir gets the Giambino.
Kazmir, the right-hander sitting out against Kazmir. Should have been the other way around.
Thanks, Skip.
Man, hang with him.
He K'd 10, now leads the majors, 239 strikeouts. Bottom six, Delman Young, 1-1 game. It's a 1-4-3. Phil Hughes looked good, allowed only 4 hits and 7.
Now he's increasingly could be an important guy in the postseason with Roger Clemens. Question mark about him. Ian Kennedy kind of nicked up right now. Maybe he'll be the number 4 starter at some point.
Interesting thing, they use Jabba on back-to-back days. The Jabba rules. Little flexibility there.
Be getting him ready for something.
Yeah, that's right.
Carlos Pena goes deep again, number 44.
Scott Kaz, yeah, Northeastern Husky, great. Scott Kazmir takes over the Major League lead in strikeouts. He's got a 4K lead over Santana, 18 clear Bedard, who's in third, although remember, in fairness, Bedard hasn't pitched since the end of August when he was shut down for the season. All right, so there's the Empire. What about the Nation? Josh Beckett on the mound, looking for win number 21 against the Twins. Boston finishing with 4 against Minnesota at the Fens. Top 5, Torrey Hunter. Dustin Pedroia coming home. Watch Beckett cut this off in front of the plate, and then the throw home. Hello.
That is a sweet play. Pedroia just to keep that in the infield and have a chance. Awesome.
Big Poppy in the 5th. He had a 4-for-4 night. This is his 34th.
He's hitting 419 since September 5th. I think he's ready.
The captain, Jason Varitek, is 16th. It's a 1-run game, 5-4. All this after Beckett was tagged for 5 earned on 10 hits and 6. They're loaded in the 9th. It's Varitek. It's Joe Nathan. Nathan came on the 8th. He's there to close in the 9th.
Wow.
Gets Varitek. Then Kevin Youkilis. Clearly, the wrist still isn't right for Youkilis. You can see how much pain he's in right there on the check swing. Good news for Boston, though. Hideki Okajima, a scoreless 8th, struck out 2, his first appearance at September 14th. So here you go. American League East, the lead is 2 with 3 to play. The Nation looking for its first division titles at 95. Red Sox 3 more with Minnesota. They'll go Diceman, Wakefield, Schilling. Yankees go to Baltimore. They finish with 3 against the O's. Pettit scheduled to start Saturday. Joe Torre says Pettit or Wong will start Game 1 of the first postseason series next week. Clemens will start Game 3, provided there are no further hamstring issues. They're not sure on the order, Pettit versus Wong, and they flip-flop those. Indians, Mariners, Paul Byrd on the mound. As you can see, an ERA of over 7 in his previous 4 starts, and his postseason rotation spot hanging by a thread at Safeco. Jose Guillen takes him yard, his 23rd.
Guillen let that ball get really, really deep and just hammered it. Wow.
Jose Lopez. Boom. That's his 10th. Mariners out 4-1 on the day that they decided they're going to bring Vivasi and McLaren back for another run in 08.
And McLaren, awesome manager. Great guy, too.
Best record in the American League, still very close. If things remain as is, the Indians would get the Yankees in division series, and Boston would host the Angels. If Cleveland and Boston tie for the best record, the tiebreaker would be head-to-head record. The Red Sox 5-2 against the Tribe this year, meaning Boston would get its choice of which series it would like to play. Due up on the program. Well, we've got the best defensive plays from all over the major leagues on Thursday. What with the diving, the lunging, and the grabbing, and the whole thing in the leather. It's web gems. So stay tuned because that, Oral likes that. And coming up, we'll touch them all. We'll go yard. The big home runs. Baseball tonight. We've got 3 days left in the season. Take a break. We'll be back. All right, get out the tape measures, men. Let's touch them all. Check the yard work, the long balls. Paul Konerko is 30th. That's 4 straight 30 home run seasons. Salvaging something on the south side.
Yeah, you think how cold he was most of the year, still got 30.
Teixeira, his 17th as a Braves, got 5 homers in his last 8 games.
Has that open stance and just has a lot of pop the other way.
He's got a lot of proof
everywhere.
Ricky Weeks
a lot
had
of
a
pocket
couple
change
for the Brew crew. Ricky Weeks got 6 homers in 10 games.
He is going to be a breakout player in 2008.
Bold prediction? Here's a breakout player in 07. Ryan Braun is 34th. He's got 17 at home, 17 on the road.
Some strong wrist assists.
Tomahawk.
That's like more than one wrist?
Yeah, multiple wrist assists.
And Henry Ramirez, he's got 29, one shy of a 30-30 trip.
This guy's scary.
Oh, by the way, he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Bold prediction?
That's my bold prediction, yeah. Here's Carlos Pena.
Wow.
He's been pretty good.
By the way, he's going to get a lot of money next year. That's another bold prediction.
What the back of that baseball card after these numbers?
44.
Little jump.
Carlos Pena, former Northeastern Husky, did we mention that? He's gone yard against the Yankees 8 times
Carlos.
this year in the last 25 games. Only one other player has hit that many long balls against Yankee pitchers in a season, and that was Jose Cruz Jr. of the 01 Blue Jays, who also had 8. So it might be time to start a Carlos Pena Yankeeography.
Comeback player of the year.
Okay, so there's a lot.
Got a shot.
Okay. Due up. It's web gems. We'll have, with the diving and the great plays and the defense and the leather and the whole thing. That's coming up next. Baseball Tonight. Back in a moment. Here's how they finish in Los Angeles. The Rockies leading the Dodgers up 6-3 in the 8th. It's Troy Tulowitzki.
Kemp going back, still going back.
Tulowitzki makes it 7-3 Colorado in what turned out to be a big Rocky 8th inning to put this one well in hand. Later in the inning, they're loaded Brad Hoff, who homered earlier. Hoff, a gap shot for Colorado. Rockies win big over the Dodgers. Colorado has won 11 in a row. What a time for an 11-game winning streak. They are now 2 back in the NL West and 1 back in the wild card. Top 9 in Seattle. 2 on, 2 out for Cleveland. Go-ahead run at the plate, but Kendry Jojima has a pickoff throw at first. Indians stay tied with Boston for the AL's best record.
Web Gems is brought to you by Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. Motor oil with adaptive molecules.
Web Gems. Best defensive plays from all over the league on Thursday. Here's Chris Gomez for the Tribe at Safeco. Off the bat of Ben Broussard.
Chris Gomez has been all over the place. Shortstop, second, third.
Great play by Paul Bird covering first.
He's versatile. David Eckstein.
Open up your pitchers.
Sean Green.
To the Exter.
Scouts call him just enough range, just enough arm there.
Got on his knees to get a little momentum to get up and fire it. Nice play.
That's the quickest part about it. He doesn't have to go high to get up.
Hey.
Careful. Juan Pierre, number 3 web gem off the bat of Matt Holliday.
Full swing jam shot. Tough read for an outfielder, especially center fielder doesn't have that third dimension on that angle.
Well said.
Jeff Salazar, the D-backs at PNC off the bat of Niger Morgan.
Wow.
Full speed.
Almost an overdrive, but very nice.
Covered.
Number 1, maybe the NL MVP. We'll see what happens. David Wright making a huge play to get, fortunately it was Kelly Stinnett running. Not to, kill Kelly, but he's not the fastest guy out there.
You know what? The Mets collapse has probably absolutely crushed David Wright's chances. He's got a big weekend.
Throw it out?
He's got, well, not throw it out completely, but there's no question. It was built on the Mets record.
So if you got Mets, Phillies, you got David Wright, Jimmy Rollins.
Exactly. The whole weekend. Matt Holliday. Prince Fielder, it's out there to be won.
It's going to be an unbelievable final 3 days in the National League. For Buster, for Oral, and Fernando, I'm Steve. Thanks for watching Baseball Tonight. Get ready for a big weekend.